And they want more. They don't want just this, they want more than what the 42%. Many compare our movement right now to the civil rights movement. Many compare it to that. But if there was one critique of the civil rights movement, it was that they became somewhat complacent. And they became complacent with the many victories that they won during that day. Brown versus the Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. Voting Rights Act of 1964 and 1965. These are all important pieces of legislation. There are other important pieces of landmark legislation that get us to where we are today. But they stopped taking us to the streets. They stopped doing what we're doing right now and rallying. And let them hear right behind us, in our house, what we want. And not what we ask for, but what we demand. Now maybe they stopped taking us to the streets because there was no need for those type of tactics anymore. Maybe it went from the streets to the courthouse. But they stopped having sit-ins. They stopped going to restaurants, sitting there, making their voices heard. Well, I gotta tell you, I think maybe they lost their sense of moral outrage and their sense of anger. But I'm here to tell you today that we have to reclaim our moral outrage and our righteous indignation because this is our time. We have the fire of our lifetime. Because this is our time. And the role of the union lastly is for us to organize. We went from organizing to servicing. We need to get back to organizing and take and we have to keep the pressure on and let them hear us. We got to make sure that ASPE, SEIU, AFP, WEAC, firefighters, police officers, UAW, we all stick together and we bind together. We keep our personalities aside. We have to keep bonding together. We cannot stop this fight. We have to have sustainability. We have to keep going, make our voices heard. Our resolve has to be stronger. Our pain has to run deeper. Our passion has to last longer. And we cannot be desensitized. We cannot let them defund us. And we cannot let them get rid of us. Because if they had their way, they would get rid of the middle class. We need back these government cheese. I'm not going back to them. No. This is something bigger than one individual. This is not about you. This is not about me. This is about us. We have to unite. This is about history. This is about justice. And I guarantee we're done. We will be on the right side of history. And I damn well know we're on the right side of history. But sometimes the revolution's not always peachy. I'd like to bring up another hero of ours, a fighter, a hero in my eyes, a champion for all of us. Mary Bell, president of WEAC.
Folks in charge back there said that you would get tired. Yeah.